It's intentional.
It's horrible.
I know it's horrible. That's why I have a love-hate with it. I love it because I love the entertainment.
Yeah.
I hate it because as a counselor, as a mental health professional, I look at that and I go, gosh, I know I'm going to have a client come in the next day and is going to ask me about this relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to pick apart why it's not a healthy thing to replicate in real life.
Your clients do that?
It's more of like, well, that's why I started watching it. It's because people would come in and ask me questions
About the show?
Oh,
I didn't
or
know
about
that.
my thoughts on the show. Okay. And I was like, well, I have no idea who the hell this Huda character is, but she sounds entertaining. So I started watching it. But it's not necessarily that people want to replicate the relationship itself. It's more like, I know someone who's exactly like Huda.
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship who replicates like Ace, or like they'll give me names of these people and I'm like, I don't know who the hell that is.
Right.
But so now I do. Now I have a frame of reference.
Right.
So in a way I'm grateful it gives them a language and gives them something to look at and externalize a little bit. But I have a love-hate relationship. I love being entertained by it, but I also hate the precedents that it sets for certain people who don't have the ability to look at certain personalities and go, ooh, that's probably not the greatest thing to do. And instead they're going, that's totally legitimate. That is a completely legitimate reaction. Because none of the reactions that are happening in there are authentic because the environment they have is inauthentic.
It's manipulated.
It's completely manipulated.
Right. Good. So Huda? Is it Huda or Huda?
I don't know. I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I think it's Huda.
I think it's Huda.
Huda. This is
Huda.
Love Island?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember the name of it.
You're okay, but it's the USA, not the UK.
You have to specify USA?
Yeah, there's 2 different versions.
Okay.
Maybe there's more. I don't know. I have a problem. Before we start talking about Huda, I just have to say, I know we've talked and like jested about reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically when it comes to relationships, like relationship game shows almost that are reality TV platforms, right? So like the production, I think we were talking about this the other day, that those relationships that are happening on camera, obviously we all know they're not real.
Yeah.
Right? Enough of us can be like, that's not real. But I don't think people understand maybe the depths of production that happens for them to get the type of content they get.
How so?
Well, like for instance, personalities are interviewed. You submit a video, you see these different types of personalities, and I would almost guess that they have someone with a psych degree looking over those personalities and putting them into categories.
Psych profile, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then most of the things that they do on the show, there is some sort of, we talk about in relationships, shared experiences grow bonds. Well, in almost every reality TV show that deals with romance, they have to go through some sort of challenge, right? Like in Love Island, there's the
uncoupling.
No, that's not the challenge.
No,
that's the result.
That's a challenge unto itself. That works too, which is also a challenge. Sorry.
Yes, it is challenging.
Yes.
Yes, but a challenge is like they did the lumberjack challenge where they had to like cut wood and walk across a wet log to each other.
Okay.
Like there's a physical activity. Like I think you watched the baseball one. No?
I've been walking out home from work and I see like I think I missed the challenge portion of everyone that I've seen so far.
Okay. Well, anyways.
Yeah.
So to educate you, there's a challenge that they have to do.
Okay.
And then in that challenge, there's a lot of shared experiences, a lot of picking and choosing who they want to experience it with, which creates even more of a bond narrative. And then they go through something hard and traumatic and they get rewarded for their efforts, or they get cheered on, or they get rooted on, or there's some sort of emotional feedback loop for them when they come
Okay.
out, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then you top it with they're in an environment where you're fed alcohol, like kind of, it's just readily available. And you don't get to sing, nap, read, listen to music. You don't get to draw.
You have specific diets you're eating.
You have specific diets
So
you're
they're
eating.
incredibly isolated.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about how isolated
Yeah.
they become. Because one of the comments you made is, why is everyone crying that these two people are broken up?
People have known each other for like a week and somebody broke up and they were like, why? Like it was this life-ending thing.
Yeah.
It was actually.
Well, it was Jeremiah and Huda's breakup / recoupling.
Good God.
And you couldn't understand why everyone was so sad.
All of them, except for Ace.
Except, well,
Ace was just mad.
Yeah. But it was just you were like, how could they be so emotionally involved in this? And then I explained kind of the isolation.
Yeah.
And so that almost breeds not just people forced into relationships, but unhealthy relationships to come out of those.
Yeah.
And I think part of the figuring out who goes with who with that psych eval is, attachment, because we were talking about attachment before. The anxious, avoidant, mixed, and secure. And I don't know as if any of those people necessarily have secure. It's not like I'm diagnosing them, but
there's one dude that comes across a little more. He's got dreads.
Taylor?
He's got the ape, don't eat ape or whatever.
Taylor?
Yeah. He seems more stable than the lot.
I think he enjoys being himself, for sure.
Which is secure in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also noticed when we were watching it yesterday, when they all have chats, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
We're going to have a chat.
Yeah.
So they go off, and while everybody else is worried about what they're saying or not saying. And when they're talking, it's funny because they're trying to find what they have in common. They talk about how much alike they are and how good that is, which is so wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't work. It's the opposites attract thing, right? And I haven't really heard anybody talk about how, they're talking about these really superficial things that they have in common. Like, I like this and I like that. It's like interest stuff, or it's, likes or dislikes. It's has nothing to do with core values or anything that's actually sustainable. It's like, I like Skittles. Really? Me too. We're so meant for each other. Like, it's total bullshit.
I feel like my person would like Skittles, though.
Would your person like Skittles?
Yeah.
Do you want some Skittles?
No, I don't want some Skittles right now.
Right.
Well, I get what you're saying. I kind of operate under the understanding that everyone is compatible. It's about the work and effort you put into it. So maybe discussing every interest is superficial, but the depth conversations aren't necessarily happening either. But that's what a reality TV show is. That's what I'm talking about with the environment. The environment isn't trying to engage them in depth. It's trying to engage them in drama.
Okay.
And drama is superficial. Depth is vulnerable.
True.
Yeah.
It's reactive.
Yeah. That's the difference between reactive and response, too, in relationships.
Right.
Yeah. Which was what we saw, right, when everyone was having an emotional response to a couple breaking up. They were reacting to the sudden change, right? So it's like one of those, like, and you were like, why are they so invested? They're invested because they're isolated. They don't have any other narratives going on. They don't have any other experiences happening. Yeah. They're invested in each other's storyline.
Right.
Okay. And so when something unexpected happens, what is unexpected events? They're a form of trauma. I'm not saying what they're going through is necessarily traumatic, but it kind of shakes your world a little bit.
Sure.
So with Huda and Jeremiah breaking up, what I thought was interesting is when we first started watching it, which, by the way, I have called every person that has been off.
Of course you have.
And I have called almost every couple in recoupling.
Yeah.
With a few exceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's because they follow a certain type of rhythm in how they cast, with the personalities. And with Huda, it was interesting. I think you watched the first episode with me. Maybe. Yeah, that's fair. In the first couple of hours, Huda and Jeremiah were very, like, in step with each other.
Love bombing or what?
I don't know if I would necessarily call it love bombing, but it was definitely like they were forming a quick attachment.
Okay.
And when people form a quick attachment, that tends to be kind of a red flag. Not necessarily that they're going to be an unhealthy couple, but it's something that I just kind of keep my eye on, right? If I have a client or someone who comes in and, they were not dating anyone and all of a sudden they're madly in love with someone I've never heard of.
You mean anxiously attached?
Yes. Then I kind of go, oh, let's kind of uncover that. Right. Not try to persuade them not to be in a relationship, but more or less just trying to understand it and have them engage more with the logical side. So in those first few hours, they get this huge attachment. And one of the things that kind of went, ooh, this is not going to go well, is at the very beginning, they all get to kiss each other. And Jeremiah turned his cheek when someone else kissed him that wasn't Huda.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It's beautiful, except it sets a precedence, right? It sets a precedence up in that relationship that this is how I'm going to prove that I am committed. But they're in a game, like, for lack of a better term, they're in a game show.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of showing her, I'm not going to play this game, but you literally are in a game show. So what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to play the game.
Yeah.
Eventually, because your environment is going to dictate the involvement to some extent.
I think it also propagates the idea of like love addiction rather than actual relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If people love isn't really love isn't the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Love is the choice to stay and be uncomfortable and work through difficulties, right?
Yeah, love is a choice.
Yeah, it's the choice. So, if him setting that precedent of turning his cheek, Huda like loved that. That probably just sucked her in so much, and he knew that too, if not consciously, unconsciously, right?
Right.
Which also screwed him over at the same time because he now has to be perfect every single day, or he is fucked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the environment doesn't allow for them to be perfect that way. It antagonizes them to be disruptive and for chaos to ensue. That's why I wanted to start with the whole premise of this is a very controlled environment that these people are having relationships in. It's not in their control.
No.
It's completely outside of their control. And I think when that happened in the first episode, I went, that's not going to go well. That's not going to go well because when you form an attachment that quick, what means is we have an attachment issue, right? When you form an attachment that quick, you have an attachment issue. I would say about 90% of the people that I do couples work with inhabit, one person inhabits the anxious attachment, the needy, and the other person inhabits the avoidant, the need to be needed. Yeah. And you could see that developing almost instantly when they first got together and that attachment happened so quickly. That's where I was like, I think there's going to be a big problem there because that's an attachment problem on both sides.
And then I think I came in maybe later on that episode where she couldn't even tell him that she had a baby or a little girl.
Yeah, that she's a mommy.
That's rough.
But in that same conversation where she's leaning in as the anxious person,
he shut down.
He shuts down, right? So almost like you see it in real time, their attachment, where she's leaning in and being very vulnerable and sharing part of herself and apprehensive of how he's going to take it. Is he going to reject me because this is part of who I am?
Right.
His response was avoidant. It was very internal. You could see him put his hands.
Physically pulled away. He shut down.
Like his behavior, his body language even showed that avoidant tendency.
Right.
So as their love story goes on, right? Like, and you see
infatuation.
Yeah, that's good. Infatuation. Their infatuation story goes on. You kind of see how their attachment styles start to pull away. By the time we get to, I think it's the 7th or 8th episode where they're playing baseball and Jeremiah kisses Olandria, right? Yes, just
totally.
Just nod your head, yes. And kisses her. Huda was not expecting that. So when Jeremiah came out from kissing another woman, that was, by the way, the first time he engaged with a challenge completely that way, because there's always a physical element to the challenges. At first she was like, I'm fine, but you could see it start to separate. Like her behavior, that anxious, started to separate into more of the avoidant, I want to run, I want to be done. She was splitting.
She split. So
she was starting
she
to
started
split.
to show her split personality tendencies.
Or she, and she just kind of pulled back into herself a little bit. She was outwardly saying she was fine with it, but her behavior, you could tell, was she was not fine with it.
Okay.
And so the splitting started to happen, and then they recoupled shortly after that, later, either in that episode or the next episode, and that's when the tears and everything that you were commenting on. But immediately after that, you could see the polarization happen almost immediately, where she gets incredibly anxious, and because now they're uncoupled, she gets incredibly anxious and is
mean.
Okay, and she is running, and she is engaging, and she is kind of doing all these things with other people, talking about how hurt she is, and he's off to the side, asking questions of his friends, and his buddies are saying pretty not so great things, and he is kind of defensive, defending her almost, but she doesn't see that because she's so in the hurricane part of her attachment. And she gets very hurt because he's not chasing after her. You're not coming after me, you're not supporting me, and then it quickly turns into, well, fuck him, fuck everything he is, he's ingenuine, he's a snake, and just goes from it's very black and white thinking, goes from he's great to he's worthless.
There was another part, I don't know which episode it was, but they were all on the couch or whatever, and Huda was on one side and he was on the other, and she came over to check on him because he was pouting, right? And he's acting like a little baby, just acting like a little kid, kind of throwing a tantrum. And she sits down and was like, hey, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Just being super dour and down and mopey. And he wanted that. That was a total power move on his end. And then she got really upset when he wouldn't open up to her. So that just further invalidated her abandonment. Right. And then, so in the same way, he was splitting in his own way too. Right. So he was finding his own sense of security by shutting down. Right. By doing that, because I don't even know why he was overwhelmed. Maybe somebody sneezed wrong. I don't know. But, and then there was this whole thing, and it turned into this big drama where they had to come back and he had to take care of her for it to be okay again. Right? She can't do it on her own. Right.
Can't regulate
and
that.
he needs to be that guy for her. So that relationship like that can never really, I wouldn't say never, but it's really difficult for a couple like that to actually find security.
Yeah. Well, I think being in that environment intensifies their attachment.
Of course.
Right? So when you have these people in this isolation where they're so invested in the other people and their story along with their experience, it doesn't surprise me that we get some of these, what the Gen Z call crash outs, where I sound so old saying that. Oh my gosh. That made me feel geriatric. Anyways, when
You mean they fell asleep?
No, not crashing out, crash out, which is having this
freak out.
Yeah, breakdown, like a mental breakdown.
Okay.
But we see it so often in these shows because of the environment they're put in and their attachment styles.
Sure.
If you put a tornado, an anxious attachment, in isolation, that is going to create already this feeling of abandonment because they're cut off from other support systems. And so they're going to lean in even harder to the support systems that are there. But people aren't perfect, and not everyone has the right type of personality to maintain a relationship with someone who has those abandonment roots. So they're going to be kind of put in, for lack of a better term, the perfect storm of having these huge mental crash outs. Amaya had one over Ace not leaning into her. She's another person that I think probably has a more anxious attachment. He wasn't leaning into her. He was also telling her what she could and could not call him, what she can and cannot do with him, like physical touch and feelings. And so I understand why she was getting upset. But, something that's, a 3 on a scale or a 5 on a scale, when your reactivity is like an 8 or 9, it's no longer about that. It's about something else.
The other thing that I noticed now that I'm thinking about when that uncoupling happening and everybody just lost their shit.
Yeah.
It highlights that insecure styles of each of their attachments where, vicariously they're feeling what their friends feel.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of like co-regulation, it's this incredible co-dysregulation.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's, because if one of them was like, no, it's okay, guys, it'll be okay. Everybody might be able to calm down. That like ruins the whole show.
Right.
So they need people that are really vulnerable.
Well, and I think
so it's really a lot of exploitation is what I see.
Well, I think the producers have a hand in that,
of course,
where they coach them to not try to regulate or calm down a situation. That's why there's so many cuts, and
they edit all that out.
And they edit all that out,
Right.
and that's why the suspenses take
28 seconds.
He counted
28 seconds.
He counted the pauses between all the recouplings during the Jeremiah and Huda.
It went from
episode.
15 seconds. Okay, the next person is.
And it was 24.
It was 15 seconds on the first one, 19 seconds on the second one, and 28 seconds on the last one. So I loathe these shows.
We know.
You know what I love about it?
What?
I get to hang out with you.
Oh, God. Can we, cut that out? Oh, my gosh.
That's good shit.
That's terrible.
That's good shit.
God. Gross.
Honestly, it's on, and I'm like, well, I want to get a little feeling time with her. So if I sit next to you, I can get a little leg touch while we watch this.
Or rub my feet.
I'll rub your feet all day.
I know.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, but you won't watch Southern Charm with me.
Can't do it.
Makes me so sad.
Can't do it.
Makes me so sad.
That one hurts.
Yeah.
This one's so bad I can tolerate it because it's, I don't know.
Yeah. Southern Charm isn't necessarily a dating show, though. It's like a day in the life of these people.
It's more real. That's why it's irritating to me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you like drama.
In my own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I've seen your exes.